Hi friends, and welcome back to another episode of our VGC 2019 battle series. We are kicking into the Moon series back again today with a brand new team. We've already played 2 weeks in the Moon series. If you've missed any of the battles that we've played so far, make sure you go back up here, and I'll put a card in for all of you lovely people so you can go back and check out the matches that we've played with that Lunala and Xerneas team. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have caught already, if not, like I say, go back and check those out. But today, importantly, we are moving on to a new team, and we are going to be playing one of my favorite Pokemon in the format, and that is Yveltal. So pairing it up with Groudon in this team, it's quite a popular core and archetype build. We've made a few changes to it to kind of put our own mark on it and kind of compensate for some things that I feel do need compensating for in this build. So we've got the Yveltal. It's got the Assault Vest like you're normally going to see in this kind of team. You've got the Groudon. Sometimes Groudon in this build tend to rely on a 50% berry, more others than not. And one of the things that we've done is play the Grandium on it. So to compensate for not having that health return on the berry, I've tagged in Tapu Fini, which is normally a Venusaur slot. We've got Heal Pulse on there. We've got Icy Wind support. Lots of different things that Tapu Fini's bringing to the table other than that Venusaur. We've also got the benefits of the Misty Terrain to help us against status and things like that. Stack attackers, they're going to be there for the Trick Room. We've got Tapu Koko with the Focus Sash there. It's got Volt Switch, Grass Knot and Thunderbolt, and then Incineroar to make up that double Dark Core, Intimidate support, Fake Out support, and just help the team get a bit of room. So without further ado, let's get into it, guys. Very excited to get into this one. Love this team, and I hope you do as well. If you do enjoy the content, as always, make sure to leave a like on the video. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this lovely content coming out for you, and make sure to leave a comment as well, because I love hearing your thoughts on the battles, on the teams, just anything in general to do with the VGC. So let's crack some music on, and let's choose some music as well, and hopefully it doesn't take too long to find an opponent. So we'll go with Elite Four because it's one of my favourites. One of the things I've noticed actually going into the Moon series is the lack of opponents that I'm finding on the battle spot. I'm finding it so difficult to find opponents at the minute. I've done a couple of streams already, and it's been really hitty-missy when we actually bump into opponents. So I don't know whether it's something to do with the global link, or if it's just because players aren't really into the circuit just yet, or if it's early days or something like that. I don't know, but if it takes a little bit too long to find an opponent right now, what we'll do, cut it and we'll come back. But every time I say this, someone pops up. We've got Nick from Italy as our first opponent of the day, and as always, let's move over to our team preview. So, hopping into team preview, we are going to see Nick with a combination of Lugia, Kyogre, Incineroar, Tapu Koko, Amoonguss and Gengar. Some interesting picks here. You've got the Lugia and the Kyogre as a restricted pair on Nick's side of the field, and not a common pair, but one that can support each other quite well. Both very weak to electric. That's one thing that we're noticing straight away. A Lugia can provide Tailwind support for that Kyogre, and probably more than likely going to be that Z Tailwind that it's got access to now, which ups the critical hit ratio on any attacks, and paired with Aeroblast, it can guarantee pretty much a critical hit every time. So we need to be very careful of that. Snarl going to be huge for us against these two Pokemon, but we need to be very careful of that Tapu Koko. The Amoonguss can be a little bit problematic because it has got access to Spore. Makes us want to think about maybe bringing the Tapu Fini, but then it can't protect that Yveltal, so we need means around that. Good switches into that if it is something that Nick decides to bring. Got the Incineroar there. It is going to provide Intimidate and Fake Out support for his side of the field, and the Gengar there, something that is picking up a lot of popularity going into this format, something that we need to be aware of. It's high base speed, it's got access to Destiny Bond, it's got access to those fast powerful Z moves as well that we can get a bit caught out by, but Yveltal does generally quite well in this match. I just think we need to protect it well against the Tapu Koko, and if we can manage the weather as well, means it's easier to deal with. Get into the battle, and good luck to my opponent with his lovely Pikachu hat on, and hopefully it's a good one. I do like these weather walls, quite strategic, so we'll see how we get on in this first one today, but I feel pretty confident. But I always feel confident. I think you've got to feel confident as a player. If you don't feel confident, then what's the point? So we're going to lead off with our Yveltal and Incineroar, and we see my opponent lead off with their Lugia and Incineroar as well. We'll get the Intimidate shuffling going on. Their Intimidate coming out first, so indicating that maybe they're running a little bit of a faster Incineroar. Otherwise we're speed tying, so that's fine. And we return with our Intimidate as we see here. So options we've got now, we can fake out the Lugia, we could U-turn out on it. I'm kind of tempted rather, because we're the slower Incineroar, I feel like they will probably fake out either our Incineroar or our Yveltal, but we could take this opportunity to pivot out on the Lugia and maybe get something in that's going to give us a little bit more of an advantage. And if we do see a Tailwind and then the Kyogre switch in, because we're the slower U-turn, then at least we'll be able to get a Groudon in and overwrite the rain that'll potentially be coming in. I'm going to U-turn out onto the Incineroar, and I'm going to just go for I think I'm going to go for a knockoff into the Lugia this turn. I don't want to snarl just yet. There's just a fake out coming up from the opposing Incineroar, which is fine. And we're going to see a Z move straight away. It is a Supersonic Sky Strike, or is it a Z Tailwind? I think it's going to be a Z Tailwind. But I really don't mind. And I only went for the knockoff here just in case the Lugia wasn't the Z move holder. It's likely it was, because it makes those Aeroblasts critical hit, of course. And yeah, because of that multi-scale as well, doing no damage there at all. So again, we're going to go for the U-turn out onto the Incineroar, and this time around we're going to go for that Snarl. I've got to be a bit careful because the Aeroblasts, as I say, they are going to be critting, but it is a special based attack, I'm pretty sure. I'll eat my words if not, but I'm pretty sure it's special. So look there, we've got it on the screen. The critical hits have taken a boost. Recover. Okay, gonna make sure that that multi-scale stays intact. I'm gonna see probably a pivot, yeah, from the opposing Incineroar, but this is fine. Like I say, we don't mind this because we're the slower Incineroar, and sometimes it's good running a slower Incineroar just for these sort of situations where you can guarantee if the Kyogre comes in now, bye-bye rain, because we just bring in Groudon and overwrite that and really disrupt my opponent's ability to kind of go forward in the match and execute the kind of things that they want to. And also, you've got to be aware that we're going to get a Snarl off on it as well, so it becomes so much weaker. But we're not going to see that. We're going to see Amoonguss, so it does give us the option to get this Snarl off, break that multi-scale on the Lugia, lower the special attack as well, and we'll be able to follow up with a nice U-turn out from our Incineroar, pivot out on this Amoonguss, get a little bit of chip damage onto it, which is always useful. And I think bring in the Tapu Fini right now. I think that's quite a nice option, because Amoonguss can put stuff to sleep. And we've also got the option to go Icy Wind as well on our Tapu Fini, which is quite nice. And I think one of the things I will do is switch back into Incineroar, because Yveltal is a big target right now for Amoonguss just to throw a Spore out, and I don't really want my opponent able to take advantage of that. Lugia as well, because of the Snarl, it's not going to be hitting us. I mean, the one thing is though, it will, because of those crit boosts, it will be ignoring any stat changes, but we can still start our speed control a little bit here, so that's quite nice. Ooh, it's going for the Rage Powder, so not going for the Spore. An Aeroblast, here we go, and the shenanigans start. Oh, there's so much damage, so much damage. And the thing that we want to try and do is get that Amoonguss into range for our Yveltal to come in, and I think what I'll do is actually, I'm going to just Icy Wind again. And I think the Lugia probably protects here because of the fake out. So I'm banking on this so we can U-turn out onto the Amoonguss, get our Yveltal in. Okay, so Amoonguss gonna switch out. Incineroar gonna come back in. That's fine. That's fine. As long as we can get Incineroar, okay, the recover. That's perfect. Perfect. This might be a bit of a long one today. We need to try and make quick work of this Lugia. Lugia is such a bulky Pokemon as well, like just generally so bulky. Like crazy, and the multi-scale makes it even more difficult to break down. We're going to pivot out onto the Incineroar now. Trying to stay a step ahead of the game, but we're kind of putting off bringing in a Groudon until we see that Kyogre hit the field, because we want to try and win the weather war. We don't want to be the one that's bringing a weather, and bringing it in early as well just kind of makes it a lot easier for the Incineroar. I think this turn what I'm going to do is Nature's Madness the Lugia, and I'm going to Snarl as well. Because again, the Incineroar can only fake out one thing, and we're not in danger of getting knocked out by the Lugia. So we either get the Snarl off, which is fine because the multi-scale's broke, or we get the Nature's Madness off, which sets us up absolutely perfectly for next turn. I'm going to see any of that. We're just going to get another Snarl off into this Lugia. It's quite nice, because if it does go for a recover now, well, we're not going to see that Nature's Madness. It's going to take it down very low, which potentially puts it in range for us to pick up. Ooh, we're going to see another Tailwind. Okay, I should have been paying more attention to see the Tailwind actually run out this last turn. And now I think we'll see the Kyogre. But again, I don't really... Yeah, here it is. Okay, my opponent's pulling the trigger now. This is fine still, because we, even though the Tailwind's up, we can totally disrupt my opponent's plans and bring in Groudon and go for another Snarl. Because at the moment, my opponent's not really got too much to actually deal with this Yveltal. I mean, you could have Thunder on the Kyogre, but it's with the sun coming in, we've got the support there. It's why Groudon really kind of supports Yveltal very well, and vice versa to a certain extent. Not as well as Primal Groudon, but we're nearly there. We're nearly in the Ultra Series, so we're going to see a Water Spot come out from this Kyogre. Is going to go into a Groudon to take us down about 50%, so not bad, and a recover coming out from the Lugia. So this is still fine, because I think what we'll do next is, I don't know if we probably do want to switch Groudon out, because we don't want to keep it in. I think the Lugia is quite in a nice position now to go for another Aeroblast into that slot. And the Kyogre's bound to switch out, I think. And if we can get Finny in, we can start heal pulsing things. So let's see what my opponent decides to do. So it's a slogfest, like I say. Weather Wars are normally like this, you know, they're very back and forward, board position, waiting for you right moment, get some damage off, readjust. You've got to be just very patient with these sort of games and not take any big risks, because when you start taking big risks is when you can start losing games. We're going to see an Aeroblast that's going to be into that Finny, so yeah, we were right to switch our Groudon out. We'll get another Snarl, and this might be... Oof, it's so close, so close. But again, we can just go for that Icy Wind. And we're getting very close. Once the Lugia goes down, I think the match will be over pretty quickly after that. The Lugia is kind of the glue to my opponent's team staying together. Obviously the support options complement it very nicely, but at the same time, when my opponent loses Lugia, they lose their speed control, they lose their physical presence. We're just going to see another Aeroblast. It's going to be this time into Yveltal. Okay, not doing too much damage though, but we will this time. Ooh, with the Sun Boost, this might be enough to actually pick us up. Ooh, so that's a nice play from my opponent. It's not the end of the world though. It really isn't. It just makes it a bit more difficult for us. And that's a play I didn't really consider, so that's a little bit on our head. I would imagine the Amoonguss comes in for my opponent. Oh, it's a Kyogre. Huh. Did not expect that. Really did not expect that. Because we've got a pretty safe turn now just to fake out and then switch Finny out to Groudon. Which I'm gonna do, because I don't feel like there's any reason not to do that. I know we might take a Flare Blitz, but the Incineroar is -1 at the minute. Kyogre switching straight out. But the other thing that we're keeping in mind here is for when that Kyogre does come back in. The problem is though, if the opposing Incineroar goes U-turn now, of course. And then we are going to probably lose something. Yeah. Yeah, my opponent's made the play. Made the play. Yeah, we lose something in the process of readjusting our board position now. Oh, okay. It's a nice play from my opponent. Okay, so we can't, I need to get Groudon out. Getting Groudon out means losing Incineroar. I'm gonna get Finny in. Okay, there's the Amoonguss going out, Incineroar coming in. There's a water spout. We've got to hope that this procs our berry on our Tapu Fini. Don't know if it will. Oh, I think we're just out of range. We're just out of range. So now we lose Incineroar either way. And we probably... Yeah, I mean... Now we get faked out and we can't attack. But the fake out probably procs our berry. So, just in case, I'm just going to Nature's Madness this Kyogre. Just on the off chance that they don't attack, don't fake us out. I don't see why they wouldn't though. They've played pretty clean throughout this match so far. Yeah, that's a berry procced. But again, we're having to take... I think the thing that we have to do next is make sure that we are making all the use of Groudon. And we could still win this. I mean, it's not completely over. Because we do have the Z move. But I feel like my opponent goes... I think what I'm going to do is substitute with Groudon and Heal Pulse with Finny. The only problem with this is if my opponent stays in with Kyogre and Water Spouts. That could be terrible for us, but we've got to bank on my opponent switching that Kyogre out and hoping that they... Oh, I don't know if I've clicked in time. Okay, we're just going to see the Amoonguss switch in. No! You're kind of hoping that they go... Oh, Kyogre protects! This is ridiculous. Okay. We get the Heal Pulse. We clicked in time. Okay. This is pretty big for us. Now, the problem is the Amoonguss. Because we've got... But we can go for the Nature's Madness and Protect. It's just the Rage Powder I'm a little bit wary of, that's the only thing. But it could Icy Wind. And that would probably give us a speed jump with Groudon. I'm gonna Icy Wind. Yeah, Kyogre goes out, the Incineroar comes in. The Amoonguss puts Finny to sleep. The Amoonguss might grass knot the Groudon slot as well. It's a big possibility. 100%. Okay. I don't mind that too much. I mean, you don't mind. They're both slower than us. It's just the chip damage at this point. It's gone for the Groudon. Okay. So we could just Precipice Blades. Yeah, and Nature's Madness. Because we're faster, we'll be able to get half the damage. And maybe then a Precipice Blades is enough to get the Amoonguss. I don't know if it is though. We should have It's really difficult though, because we could see... Okay, we're not going to see Fake Out. We've got to make sure... The Incineroar... Oh, that's the one thing that we needed not to happen. Especially if the Amoonguss goes down to this. Yeah, I mean... Because the Flare Blitz now just knocks out the Groudon. Okay. Okay, we've still got... Huh. I think that's a misplay from my opponent. Like, completely, I think they need to get rid of the substitute on the Groudon. Especially because we protected the turn before. I think they need to take advantage of that. Now, they come in with the Incineroar Kyogre, which is fair enough. But at the same time, we've got the Tectonic Rage. We're not intimidated. At least I don't think we are. I can't remember us getting intimidated. Now we can just launch that into the Kyogre slot. Like, they can Water Spout all they like, but a little Teddy in front of Groudon is protecting us. Yeah, we're not intimidated, so I mean, we just pull the trigger, I think, into the Groudon, and I'm gonna Icy Wind at the same time. I expect Finny to get faked out here, I think. Yeah, makes sense. There's the Water Spout. This probably takes Finny down. Yeah, it's enough. We've got to hope that the Kyogre's not Berry, and we've got enough to take it down. I think I'm pretty confident that the Groundium will take this Kyogre down though. So here we go. Moment of truth. Groundium. You even getting animations from me. Can you tell I'm a little bit excited? See if this actually does the job. Come on. Come on, Groudon. Let's get the cheer on. Yes. Come on. Yes. Groudon. My boy Blue. You're my boy Red. And now we'll go Precipice Blades into the Incineroar. He's not going to miss. He's got his glasses on. Wow. What a game. I think one of literally the best games I've ever had on this series ever. I will just throw that out there. Honestly, I think that was amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Massive props to my opponent. What a great game. Backwards and forwards all the way through, and managed to pull it out in the end. So, Team Osirus 1. Internet 0. Flinch Squad 1. That's the one. Flinch Squad. Here we go. But yeah, great, massive props to my opponent. And we'll move into our next game. It's going to be a bit of a longer one today because that was a crazy long game. Crazy long game. One of the longest games I've had, but a very enjoyable one nevertheless. Let's pick some more music. Let's go with Battle Royale. Our good friend Yorine has been playing through Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon recently, and he mentioned on the stream that he was at the Battle Royale. So, in homage to that, we'll play some Battle Royale music today. It's it's a fun track to end us on today. Hopefully we can find an opponent again. If it takes ages, I'll just come back to the point of the video where we find an opponent. And we've got our next opponent of the episode, Poyo from Japan, I believe. Pretty high rating, playing a team of... So let's get into team preview here. We've got Poyo. He's playing a team of Xerneas, Tornadus, Kartana, Kyogre, Incineroar and Amoonguss. A very common archetype here that we've seen do so well in the Sun series, transitioning into the Moon series, still doing very well. Big things to watch out for. We've got the Tailwind, the taunt on that Tornadus. Going to shut down options on our side of the field like Trick Room that we might rely on with that stack attacker. It's got Tailwind there as well to support the rest of the team and set up things like that Kyogre if it's not scarfed. Put it in a position where it can throw out those very fast and powerful water spouts. Could have access to the Z move. Things to watch out here for, I think, with the Z move are definitely the Tornadus, the Kyogre. Kartana I would even put into that bracket, but we're going to look at the Xerneas. It's got the Power Herb probably. You've got a lot of support options as well around that Incineroar, Kyogre and the Amoonguss, as we're just checking a few items on our team. But the things that we need to do here are make sure that we are having an option to disrupt that weather with the Groudon on our side of the field. The stack attacker could be good here for especially the Xerneas and the Tornadus. Incineroar as well, but we would need our Tapu Koko for terrain support against that Amoonguss and it's sporing us if we do decide to go down that route. Other options we've got, I think we need to fake out support from our Incineroar, but it does kind of hinder our ability to perform as well with the rain being something so prominent on my opponent's side of the field. Going to be a tough battle. We know how hard this core is to face, but one that I'm looking forward to getting into, so I hope you guys enjoy it. You didn't see the camera, but I'm rolling my eyes behind the camera because I just run out of time and changed my mind last minute, and I see the Kartana. I'm like, we need Incineroar, and Incineroar's in the back, and we can't lead it in. We're probably leading off with Groudon, and it's all bad. But I mean, it's done now. It's done. Tapu Fini and Incineroar. So we're gonna get intimidated, faux show. But we do have our stack attacker in the back, don't we? So, the one thing I do think my opponent will do is U-turn out with Incy Spider. Climbed up the water spout, and I think they'll bring in Kyogre potentially here. But we could pull a double switch for sure, because I don't feel like we've got really the utilities on Tapu Fini to do very much right now. I'm going to switch in Stack Attacker for Tapu Fini, and I'm going to pull a hard switch into Incineroar with Groudon. At least if my opponent does U-turn this next turn into the Kyogre, we'll have that Fake Out Trick Room option going into the next turn. So here's the stack. And also Incineroar, which is nice because we get an important Intimidate onto the opposing Incineroar as well. They might just go Fake Out, Geomancy. There's the Fake Out. Doosh. Critical hit. And Dazzling Gleam. Not going for any setup at all. But the nice thing is we've got the Misty Terrain up, so we don't care about the Amoonguss so much coming in now. And we can just set this Trick Room up and just have a real jolly old time. I'm going to set the Trick Room up. And, does the Incineroar have Roar? No, of course it doesn't. I don't think so, not on this team. I don't think so. There's so much support in the Amoonguss, the Tornadus, the Kartana for Xerneas. I don't think they do. I'm going to use this opportunity to pivot out on the opposing Incineroar. I'm not going to Fake Out. I'm going to U-turn, and I'm going to get Groudon in. Xerneas going out. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Kyogre coming in. Exit. Oh, we like these sort of plays, don't we? watch Incineroar pull out like all-out pummeling, just absolutely cane at her. Ooh, we're gonna see a roar. 100%, we're gonna see a roar. But I mean, it could be worse. We're gonna get Groudon in, so it's fine. To get the Trick Room up, I mean, it's a massive bonus for us. Gonna get that Trick Room up. Bada bing, bada boom. Kyogre. Looking pretty bad right now. I mean, we probably use this opportunity to get a substitute up with Groudon. Yeah, because the Kyogre goes out. I'm kind of tempted just to Rock Slide. And Precipice Blades even. Like, I really want to Precipice Blades and Rock Slide. Because I feel like the Kyogre is either going to launch or do we just Gyro Ball and Z move into the Kyogre? I don't really want to freely whiz my Z move. That's the only thing. I'm gonna play the long game. I'm gonna Rock Slide and I'm gonna substitute. I feel like my opponent has to adjust their board position 100%. I'm gonna see the cat come in, Cycle and Intimidate. So Kyogre likely gonna stay in, but it probably will protect here. Yeah, there's the protection. So at least we get a Rock Slide into the Incineroar. That's a big thing for us. I mean, that's really frustrating. That is like massively frustrating. Stacks. It's -1. I mean, we still got Rock Slide, and I'm just gonna throw. I'm not gonna do the Z move. I'm just gonna Precipice Blades here. We are -1, but I don't think we get the Kyogre with it from this range. Could have done with that Rock Slide hitting. It's a bit unfortunate, really. Do worry a little bit still about the Kyogre having. So there's a fake out into the Stack Attacker. It's fine. Get this Precipice Blades off. And this will do nice damage to both targets here. Poké Berry. No berry. No berry. There's the berry. Of course there's a berry. There's always a berry. Berry everywhere. Water Spout. Just going into the stacks. And break our sub as well. And how many turns of Trick Room have we got left? Because we've got to keep this in mind. We've got 2. So a Rock Slide and a Precipice Blades. Because I think you protect here and then we pull the trigger on something next turn. There's a Kyogre going out. Yeah, and Amoonguss coming in. As long as our Precipice Blades hit. Where's this into? Stack Attacker? No, Groudon. Huh. They're doing a lot of damage. Doing a lot of damage. The terrain disappears. Kind of wishing we had. Okay. Because I don't think we got the safety goggles on Stack Attacker anymore. I'm just going to double check. I think we put Chopper Berry on it, yeah, because of the terrains that we've got. The Trick Room's going to end this next turn. Groudon's really not in any fit states to... So one option we could do is preserve Stack Attacker, switch in Finny, and go Groundium into Amoonguss. But it probably just... Yeah, I don't think that's really the best play to make. I definitely need to switch out. So I'm going to protect Stacker. Now I'm going to Rock Slide. And I'm going to switch in Finny for Groudon. We need to get Groudon out so we can get rid of this rain. Okay, Amoonguss switching out. Like, Kyogre might just protect here, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think you go for the water spout. The problem is losing stacks. Because we lose our Trick Room then. Yeah. Unless we get the flinch. And we are the flinch squad, so we deserve it. No deserving! Okay, stacks goes down. Sad times. Sad times. Now we can maneuver things with Incineroar. We can get things moving along a little bit because we can. I think we've got to try and set up a win con at the end with Icy Wind. That's the big play, I think, right now. Because if we can get Groudon in Icy Wind stuff enough, then Tapu Fini can make use of Heal Pulse, and we can start actually doing some damage like we did in the last game. But we've got to ignore this Kyogre for a little bit and allow it just to go. Okay, it's ignoring the just out of berry range, which is really frustrating for us. Really frustrating. Now the big thing here is, can we get Groudon in and Heal Pulse? We've got to hope that Fini outspeeds both of these Pokemon right now. Okay, just one of these Pokemon. Things look a lot rosier if we can get the Groudon's health back up to a good state. Heal Pulse, come on! Come on, Fini! We need Fini not to go down as well, that's the other thing. There's a Moonblast. There's it into Fini. Come on, Fini. Oh, there's no way we take that. No way. But we've got the option now to set up the sub again. The terrain's up in our favour. We've got to worry about the Kyogre coming in, of course. And the big problem is... yeah. The Xerneas really. It's able to break our sub. It's able to hit us for very good damage. I think we've got to make a big play now where we sub. Hope the Xerneas protects and we Flare Blitz the Amoonguss. I think we've got to do this. Okay, we actually outspeed the Xerneas, which is pretty mad. The Geomancy coming, okay. It's still not great though, because we still go down the next turn to like Moonblast breaks the sub in Kyogre. He's going to be faster because we haven't got any speed control, and the rain will be up, so we're pretty screwed either way. I mean, the Flare Blitz now will get this Amoonguss. Just Poké Berry. I mean, it's not really going to do us much good, I don't think. And the immediate threat that was always the Kyogre is now the Xerneas, but we can't ignore either. And this is why this core is so threatening once the Xerneas gets set up. It's very difficult, especially if you lose the Weather Wall, which we have done. And my opponent's just played it very well. So we can't really make too many complaints. There's probably areas where we could have done a few things differently. Such an easy water spout at this point for my opponent. I mean, they could Origin Pulse, but we've only got U-turn. And that is not going to be enough. I mean, we can U-turn the Kyogre, protect Groudon, hope that they lock into Origin Pulse and it misses, and hope that they Moonblast into the Groudon this turn. Although you just Dazzle, I think. Okay, Moonblast. Actually into the Incineroar. So we had a free turn with Groudon. That's a bit frustrating for us because we could have just went. And I mean, even if we go into one thing here, it doesn't really make too much difference. Camera, focus. Better. Yeah, we just lose. Unless for some really obscure reason we outspeed the Kyogre, which I doubt we do. There's no way. We've got a really specific speed stat on Groudon. There's the Moonblast. So we're 1-1 this episode. Very good game to my opponent. Very strong team still. Played it very well. Second game of the team though. I don't think we're doing too bad. It's a good episode today. Very good episode. I've enjoyed it. So I hope you guys have as well. And we'll be back for another episode tomorrow. So as always, make sure to leave your comments down in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on today's game. It's a long episode. Hopefully I can cut some out of it, make it a bit shorter. But just say thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm not going to drag this out any longer. I will have a great night, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And I will see you all for our next episode very soon. So until then, take care and bye-bye!